Good evening and welcome everyone to this week's Baronial meeting.
Thank you. We have just a few things that we need to cover real quickly for you before we hand things over to our Senna Shah. So we had made an announcement a little while back about being able to resume our business meetings possibly on July 1st. This came down from Curia and the Crown, but we've gotten a little bit of additional information since that initial announcement we made. They have limited us or asked us to limit our attendance to 10 persons or less for SE activities currently. Given those circumstances and those limitations, we don't think that it's going to be possible to continue or to resume our normal weekly meetings as we all know them for social or for business. So that's going to be off the table for a while, as well as martial activities, which still can't continue or can't take place until the Crown and Curia lift those restrictions, allowing us to do any martial activities. And that includes anything that would normally require a martial, just to clarify that. The upside or the good news is that our guilds can resume having people attend their meetings personally, as well as doing virtual, which would be really great if they kept that going. So there's certain criteria that we mentioned that would have to be applied to those meetings. So there'll be things like a waiver, hand washing, masks. Our Senna Shah will go into more detail on that during her portion of this. And then we have just a couple other things to talk about that we wanted to
talk about.
Right.
So His Excellency and I would like to reach out to the populace and to any other people in the area who are watching this YouTube video. We would like to spend some time highlighting the different diversity topics that come up within the SCA. If you know of somebody who is interested in presenting on either a diverse topic or a topic of equality or also a topic of inclusivity, we would like to highlight them as part of our offerings that we publish on the Cleftlands website, on our Facebook group.
Classes, right?
Classes,
Right.
Or if you are interested in a particular subject and you haven't taken the time or you haven't had the time to sit down and do a real deep dive and present or come up with a class, this would be a great time to practice with kind of a limited audience and present that. And we really are looking forward to highlighting this kind of activity.
So things like people of color in history, Europe, non-Europe, women in history, also non-European or European.
Mm-hmm.
Things of that nature, anything that we feel or that you feel has been underrepresented,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Exactly.
So moving on, we had a baronial meeting, or sorry, rather a baronial court just a short while ago for what would have been Northrop and More maneuvers, and had a lot of fun with that.
Indeed. If you haven't taken the time yet or had the time to review the court that happened 2 weeks ago, we do highly recommend it. It is a great blast to the past, and a lot of our own artisans are featured throughout the video presentation. On that note, we did actually recognize 4 different individuals for their offerings and their service to the barony. For the arts and sciences, Sergeant Yaw was recognized for his stoneworking. Lord Rohan was recognized for teaching classes and for his cooking. And Noble Rin was also recognized for general excellence in the arts and sciences and presentation. So the 3 of them received their award of the Argent Crescent, which is the Baronial Arts and Sciences Award. And there's a cat. Excuse us just a moment while we placate the cat. All right, that aside, we also did recognize Duke Eichbrander for his overall service to the barony, and he is now a member of our Order of the Azure Chalice. So take one quick moment and a huzzah to each of the 4. Thank you for your contributions and your service to the barony.
So moving on, we're going to pass things over to our brand new Senna Shah, who will be conducting her first business meeting. Please, Lady Clarissa.
Hello, everyone. This is my first meeting as Senna Shah. Thank you for joining us. As their excellencies stated, there are not going to be meetings. We did not think it was fair to limit our meetings to 10 people. How could we pick favorites? That would not be fair. But guilds are allowed to meet provided they meet the requirements put forth by their majesties. So those have been posted on the Mid-Realm website, and they will be available. We'll post them after this as well, so that those requirements are available. Basically, it is masks are required. Hand washing is required. If hand washing is not available, hand sanitizer is required. 6 foot distance is required. 10-person limit is also required. And for anything that is advertised on the baronial page, we need to do contact tracing. So that means that everybody who attends a meeting has to sign in with their name and a way to reach them, either phone or email. You don't have to put both, you can choose which one. But that is so that if someone, hopefully it does not happen, but if someone gets sick, we can trace it back and let everyone know. So there is a required form for that will also be posted and available, and we do have to use that form because it includes a waiver. So that form will be available to anyone who wants to host a guild meeting. Once that meeting is over, if you could please make sure to send it to me within 48 hours. We have to send those on to Kingdom for record keeping, so that if anything happens, they have a record of that. So good news, we can have official things happening again. We're starting to get back into things, so I hope that everyone will think about getting together and hosting some of these meetings. And unfortunately, they can't be any martial activities. No, so that means no archery, no thrown weapons, no fencing, and no heavy combat. So that is still a limit for the foreseeable future until their majesties say otherwise. In addition to that, we have a new officer. Our Minister of Youth is changing over. We thank Lady Zofia for her service, and the new Minister of Youth will be Lord Rohan. He'll be changing over on July 15th, and so we welcome him. Thank you. And the Kingdom Senna Shah put forth a message, which I shared on the baronial Facebook, about doxing. If you don't know what doxing is, that is where you post someone's personal information for everyone to see and do whatever they want to with it, which is usually not nice. So that means their address or other contact information. So the society has put forth a requirement that we do not do that, because there are, including Cleftlands, we have a contact list that includes people's personal information, including their address. So we have that available, and we don't want to see anybody using that to expose anyone. Obviously, if there is law enforcement involved, that is a separate thing. And while that's probably not going to be related to any SCA activity, since there aren't any, if something does come up that's related to an SCA activity, please let me know, because I'll have to pass that on to Kingdom as well. I had just one officer announcement from Baroness Constanza, who couldn't be with us tonight. She wanted to remind all the fighters that fighting will be happening again, and when it does, to make sure that you are up to date on your waiver. Membership isn't required anymore, but you do have to have an individual waiver. That link to do that has been posted, but we'll post it again to make sure you guys are all caught up. And that was everything I had. We have Baroness Angharad joining us, so I believe that she had some announcements as well.
All righty then. Well, the news about guilds is very good to hear. We will need to be approaching guild heads about who's comfortable hosting, since of course all of our guild meetings are occurring in private homes. But as people choose to, I'll be posting those on Facebook and on the Cleftlands webpage. In the meantime, even as we speak, the Cleftlands Needleworkers Guild is currently meeting this Tuesday, and the Armorers Guild will be again meeting via Zoom this upcoming Thursday. All that information is available online, so please feel free to contact people. Other than that, you may have noticed that Mid-Realm University has changed their offerings a little from the beginning of the shutdown. They are continuing to offer classes, but instead of offering a class every weekday and 2 on the weekends, they are looking to offer classes basically Monday through Thursday to allow people Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even if you want to go to all the classes, time to do other things and maybe make things or do things that you learned about in classes. For July, they have a theme. They will be offering classes on service, serving as an exchequer, serving as an event steward. They have an entire month's worth of classes that they're about ready to post. So if there's anything you're interested in being able to step up and do when we come back, this would be a month to go take a look at it. On the other hand, as our Baroness just mentioned a few moments ago, it's coming up on July, which we all know is the month that we suddenly decide that the thing we haven't done for the last year can be done before Penzic. So while we are winding down the June challenges of a heraldic presentation and a cook's challenge for cooking over fire, I would like to extend the June challenges. I originally said they would need to be in by Wednesday the 24th and posted so that we knew about them. Yeah, like most projects, things run late. We're going to the 1st. We will finish out the month, so you've got any time between now and July. But in July, we're going to pick up, July, we're going to pick up the pace. In July, we're going to have a 2-week challenge to start a Penzic 49 project. Now, this is not one you need to finish in those 2 weeks, but by July 15th, figure out what your Penzic 49 project is and actually start. That can be anything from picking up books for research to actually ordering the fabric, but whatever it is, post it so that we know that you're getting started on your Penzic 49 project in July, just like you always do. And by you, I mean me. So anyway, that's about it for the moment. The June projects will go through the very end of June. Please look at the rum classes in July. I think they're going to be fascinating. And hopefully we'll see what your Penzic 49 project is. Take care.
Thank you, Baroness Inghardt. I will be starting my Penzic project, which I should have started last year. And I think that is everyone we had to speak. I'm looking at faces. Looks good. Okay. So I know we threw out some information at you tonight. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, reach out to their excellencies, and we'll be happy to answer questions. Again, I'll be posting the forms so that anyone who's interested can look over the requirements before you volunteer to host, and look over the waiver and all that good stuff so that you know you're aware before going to a meeting or hosting a meeting what you're in for. We haven't planned our next court or meeting or any other activities, but once we do, we'll let you know, and all that information will be posted to Facebook. So thanks for joining us. And I think Julie, you might have a note.
I have a question. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. With the guild meetings, how are you going to limit it to 10 people? Is there going to be a sign-up list, or how is that going to work? And I'll mute myself.
So it's kind of up to the host how they want that to work. Theoretically, the person would post, if they're posting the advertisement or event on Facebook, it would be the first people who say they are planning to go. Obviously, that presents a challenge if somebody wanted to go, but their spot was taken, but another person drops out. But that's kind of what their recommendation was for how to limit it to 10 right now. And that's another reason why it's so difficult to hold meetings at 10 people, because it is difficult to do that. But that was a suggestion, was to do it either via Facebook so that everybody could see it. If that's not a method that people are comfortable with, if the guilds have an email list that everybody is on, they can also do it that way and try to get signups through there. But obviously that limits it to the people who are on that email list.
I think at the moment, we're going to need to talk to the guild heads and the hosts about what they want to do. I will say that most of our guilds tend not to exceed 10 people in attendance. So on the other hand, everybody wants to go out and see everyone. So it could be a challenge.
Did that answer the question? Any other questions? Looks good. And again, if anybody has anything that comes up or you think of anything, just let us know. Okay, well, that's it for this meeting. Thank you again for joining us, everyone, and we will see you next time.